Hey, so I decided that I was going to start doing videos along the way. Um, the truth is, I'm exhausted. It's 4:30 in the morning again. Um, my poor husband isn't getting any sleep because I'm not getting sleep. I pretty much stay up until my exhaustion overruns my discomfort. So I have severe pain in my jaw, top and bottom, through my ear, behind my eye, and it just keeps spreading up into my head. I'm feeling it here. I'm getting swelling in my throat. I'm noticing it just when I speak even. It starts to feel strained, almost like when your tonsils are swollen. But my tonsils aren't swollen. The biggest thing is dizziness and just exhaustion, and I'm not really doing anything. You're talking to someone that teaches high intensity interval training for a living. And now it's like just going to a doctor's appointment, I'm exhausted, like done, completely done. So first of all, let me explain. I am not blaming my symptoms on this idea of breast implant illness that people are talking about. I'm also not discounting it. I currently am on a Candida diet, which basically Candida is an overgrowth of a bacteria. I take probiotics. I'm taking more. I don't drink. Or at least haven't in a really long time. Don't smoke. Don't eat sugary foods or simple carbs. I eat really healthy. Exercise. I am a healthy individual on paper. All of my blood tests are normal, other than a slightly elevated thyroid. All of the medical tests so far are coming back normal. Even when I sleep flat on my back, it's not uncommon for my left arm to completely fall asleep. I started thinking maybe I have imbalances in my spine pressing on a nerve. I'm not sure, but that's certainly on the table. I'm looking at everything here as a possibility, and not because I don't believe that breast implants can cause a problem, because I do. It's because I know that my body is telling me something. And just with this series of events, literally this piercing that I had, my body started forcing it out. My body's been telling me basically that there's things it doesn't want in it anymore. And I believe my implants to be one of those things. I'm also seeing rippling on the sides, which would indicate that there is a slow leak of some sort. I've even heard of sweating from the implants. I don't know. There's not a whole lot of research behind all of this stuff because it's a huge business. So the pharmaceutical companies and the medical device companies aren't the ones doing a whole lot of research, other than they did do a research of 2,000 women, but it was pretty much a phone call. Are your implants affecting you, yes or no? No explanation of what that would possibly mean or anything else. Again, I am doing this based off of my gut instinct from when I heard it. And urinary tract infections constantly, yeast infections regularly. I don't usually have headaches. I have had this headache for 5 weeks straight. And it's always at least a dull headache, but it certainly reaches the point of excruciating where I double over, and I've been in sessions training my clients, and luckily, they don't really see it. I'm maintaining my job and my responsibilities, but I feel like only barely. It's hard for me to focus. It's hard for me to articulate the way that I'm used to articulating. I've been working on some huge projects this year. I've been super busy, so I thought I was tired because I was traveling. And then It was because maybe I'm pregnant and that's why my breasts hurt and that's why I have headaches and hot flashes and dizziness and all of these things. After this last doctor's appointment, it is official. I am not pregnant. I waited on doing some testing because I didn't want to have any sort of radioactive involvement if there was even a chance that I was pregnant. Now that that's off the table, we're going to continue. By the time you're watching this video, it's not in real time anymore. And that's not because I don't want to share, but because I don't want to scare anyone or worry anyone and then have people all up in arms that Cole's falling apart. Cole is not falling apart. Cole is listening to her body. And I very distinctly put out in the universe that I want to prepare my body for a baby. And my body is speaking very loudly of how to best prepare to be a carrier and a first nursery for such a privilege. And I'm listening. It would be great if it was a little bit more of a whisper. But I am so tired. And trying to not feel too guilty for the load that puts on my husband, because he's amazing and I love him so much. And his support and his just his approach, you know, that we're gonna do everything that we can. And I know that to be true, regardless of how much it costs. We'll figure it out, because we always do. And that I know. But I wanted to make this video so that if you have a gut feeling with anything, I'm not talking about if you have implants, but if you feel like something's going on in your body and there are people that don't believe you, luckily I have lots of people that believe me, because I don't, I'm not a follow the crowd person. I don't care what people think. And not having boobs does not, even in the slightest, affect me. I didn't get them because I had an issue with the body I had before. I was a 19-year-old that had an opportunity to get breast implants and had the money and said, why not? Okay. I certainly wouldn't have done it now if I would have thought there was any risk, because I was told there was none. I also don't have regret. I don't believe in regret. I believe that people and situations are presented to us as teachers. Some are not as pleasant of teachers. Some are very hard. In all of this, my spirits are actually very high. I see this as a part of the journey to better health, to teaching others, to saving others from going through the stuff that I go through. Or not. But that's your path. That doesn't have to do with mine. And so I'm going to diary along this. It's April, technically now it's April 17th. I was in the ER on Friday because the dizziness and the headaches were so bad, and my speech was not slurring, but I was having a really hard time articulating and pulling my words together, and that's not me. I'm quite the talker. And they couldn't find anything in those blood tests again. Heart, everything's good. Of course, I take really good care of myself. And I'm going to continue to do so till I get to the bottom of this. I'm going to continue this Candida diet because many side effects or similar symptoms can be from Candida. And if you have a yeast infection, that's a pretty good indication that there's an imbalance. So I'm going to continue with that and work with an herbalist and also with Western medicine. All right, I'm not, I do know the value of both worlds and experience the value of both, and will continue to explore both until I find all of my answers. So I'm not a sit back and hope God will sort it all out kind of person, because I believe that you must be active in your healing, and I'm going to be. So here's my first kind of like diary video in the middle of the night. Thank you guys. For anyone that's interested in following the journey, is following, whatever. Sorry it's so dark. I guess I should have turned on the light, but maybe it's more fitting for the somber message. So thank you guys so much, and let's go.